welcome to the Gator Nation Football Podcast Film Review. I'm James DiVirgilio, and I will be getting you ready for Florida versus Alabama on Saturday in the Swamp. I'm going to take a look at both Alabama's offense and defense. We'll use the Miami game and the Mercer game to show you how this year's Bama team differs from last year's. Of course, you can see on this very channel the breakdown from Alabama last year. And again, as I mentioned, I'll walk you through the differences between Bama 2021 and Bama 2020. As always, if you like this content, sub to this channel, follow us on social media, drop us a dono on Patreon as you can support our efforts to bring you this kind of content, and check out the podcast each and every Monday where we bring you in-depth analysis on the Florida Gators. So Bryce Young, quarterback for Alabama, obviously a highly rated guy, the highest rated recruit that Alabama has ever had, a consensus number one quarterback, but he is young. He has plenty of skills he has not yet mastered, but plenty of talent. Bama, as we mentioned on the podcast, loves to run vertical routes. They're going to stretch you vertically. They're also going to stretch you horizontally. That's one reason why their offense is so difficult to stop. The good news for Florida is they haven't quite gotten all of this figured out yet. You can see the nuts and bolts are there, but they're not executing at a high level just yet. On the second play of the game here against Miami, we've got their deep threat, Jamison Williams, number one, and he is going to run a route that Bama runs so well. Not a lot of teams in the country are willing to run these late developing routes, but they're going to do it. He's going to run a stem corner route. It's a stem because rather than just running straight and running a corner, he's going to stem his route to the inside, straighten it up, and then snap it off to the corner around the safety. Stem routes are very, very hard to defend. They're great zone beaters because it messes up the exchange between safeties and underneath defenders. Since the route's not just straight and it gets stemmed, you may pass this off. Stem routes are great, especially if you can pass protect. Last year, Bama was able to pass protect very, very well, and they were very threatening down the field. Alabama should have a touchdown on this play, and they're not going to hit it, and I will show you why. Roll the tape here. Pre-snap motion, something Bama features heavily, as we mentioned. They're going to run a lot of these motions to confirm what kind of defense they're seeing. They don't see any movement, so they're quite confident Miami is in fact in a zone, and they also get a little read that they're going to bring pressure off the edge. So they get all the information they want that this play is in fact good. Now they just need to execute it. They get a really clean pocket. You're going to see throughout this game that throughout this film review that Alabama's offensive line is their weakness right now, which is something we haven't said in many years with regards to Alabama. But on this particular play, they're going to get great pass protection. Now, thanks to the TV cameras, you're not going to see just how wide open Jamison is until the end. Probably should have caught it, but this is not a good ball by Bryce Young. Not his finest ball, tons of time. Just underthrows this ball. He can put this ball anywhere out here, and that's going to be a walk-in touchdown for Alabama. He doesn't connect on this. The reason this play is so open is you have both the nickel and then the safety, which you can't see here on the screen, ball watching in the backfield. This is all made by Alabama's simple play action right here. And you can take a look. We got flat feet, and you can't see off your screen, but we also have flat feet at the safety. You cannot ball watch for too long on Alabama. You have to respect the vertical threat. Of course, if you're just running with the receiver too quickly, then you can't come help in the run game. This is what Alabama does to you. They put you in a significant conflict as to whether they're going to run or pass. And that is the effect of a quality play action, is you get a lot of peeking here. That's going to slow you down. If you're flat-footed against a receiver of Jamison Williams' speed, you're in trouble. So this route gets stemmed to the middle. He then runs around a flat-footed safety. He gets himself wide open here, and Bama does not hit on it. I spent a lot of time on this play because Bama features this play. They'll run it from all over the field. You're going to see it once or twice more in this film breakdown, but they run a lot of vertical routes that are 30, 40 yards down the field, and that, again, is one reason why they are so dangerous. There are not many teams in college football who will run as many, especially stem routes or deep overs, as Alabama will, and when they're hitting them and they can run the ball, it's virtually unstoppable. A marked change from the Saban of 4 or 5 years ago. Jalen Hurts, and then before then, just a very different Bama attack. Of course, one that I love. I love a vertical attack. I love 2-on-1 safeties. I think they do it very well. But as I mentioned, and as you'll see on film, the execution level just quite not there yet. Miami had an extremely aggressive game plan versus Alabama. The only problem was they would use a lot of what we're going to call Grantham style blitzes. They're going to bring a safety blitz here. This is very risky. It's 1st down and 10. It's a long way to go. A traditional Bama team would kill you if you tried this, but they're counting on Bryce Young to potentially not realize who's coming, and they're trying to aid in any kind of run game that may occur, especially something coming out here. Again, Bama's going to bring this motion in here. It's a nice jet sweep motion. We're going to bring the safety down to cover the jet sweep motion. That's going to create a space for us on this nice dig route here from Jamison Williams. A very well-designed and simple play, easy read. Now all we've got to do for Bama is block it. There's your double play action with the jet sweep. Jamison here is going to be wide open, and the ball should be out right now, but he's reading deep first. He should have seen that they were on top of the route, immediately come to his dig route and thrown the ball here. Bryce, again, not quite there yet. Not a knock on Bryce. He's just a young quarterback. Not quite there yet with the reads. He's going to look off his deep, not check down to the dig, and then he gets pressure. And that's why I'm showing you this. Miami was successful at getting pressure against Alabama, and here it is right here. And this is without the blitz. This is just a one-on-one matchup, one-on-one right here off the edge. They're going to win this matchup, and that is going to ruin this play. And then Bryce does what Bryce does really well, is he gets away. He does keep his eyes downfield. So take a look. He's going to have his eyes downfield. Then he's going to see the rush, feel the rush. He's not looking downfield. He reestablishes his eyes downfield and then makes a nice throw on the run, taking a hit. So although he converts this 1st down, if this ball's actually thrown on time, he has adequate time, foot on the ground, step forward, drive. He has the throw right now. This would have been done. Instead, it's a little bit late. He does escape, which he does very well. He did this very well against Miami. He frequently got away and converts the 1st down. 1st and 10 here for Alabama. Early in the game, they're already up 7-0. And what I want to watch here is they're going to get a motion. Again, frequent motioning from Alabama. You're going to have a receiver pointing, letting Bryce know we've got a corner blitz coming, something Grantham likes to do. This is an example where a corner blitz is actually good. If you're going to face a team that you think is going to be running the ball and they want to run it off the edge, you can bring a corner blitz to help, and you can have the safety come cover. As long as you get your call correct, you can make this work. As Alabama progresses, especially even later this season, when they see this, they'll be able to go to a run-pass option or an RPO. He'll fake this handoff and just simply hit his receiver right here. Again, they're not there yet, which is why I'm showing you this. He's going to hand this ball off right into the corner blitz. Miami does miss the first 2 tackles. However, this is a good stop on 1st down by Miami. But again, soon, if you watch the Bama film, you're going to see them hitting this RPO. This is not even an RPO yet. He's not looking for the ball, by the way. This is simply just a run. They're not there yet with their offense, but they will be. It's possible they're going to try some of this against Florida on Saturday, but for now, there's their first run. It's just going to be a simple run. Receiver, though, doing the right job. Again, Bama very well coached right away. He's going to let him know, blitz, 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 and that way that should tell Bryce, use the information as you want. Either way, nice play by Miami. Again, Miami had a lot of good stuff on film with their game plan, especially with their front 7, not so much with their secondary. Alabama this year has not been great at running the football. Yes, you heard that correctly. They have not been great at running the football. A large reason for that is their offensive line. However, they're certainly still solid, and they can hurt you. This is a nice play design by Alabama. Miami is worried about Alabama running outside the tackles. They're going to bring, again, this jet sweep, or this motion in, which is going to get the safeties to rotate down. This is a nice exchange, by the way. I like the way Miami's handling that. That's the preferred way I would handle it as well. Florida often will not necessarily rotate their safeties in this regard. You'll see on our defensive breakdown, Alabama pretty much always does. But either way, that's the motion we're going to get. And on top of that, Miami is going to bring edge pressure. And then Bama says, all right, if you want to really overload the edge, we're going to create a gap here and run the ball right where you're weak, which is what's going to happen. A nice delayed handoff. Timing is perfect. And if you just miss a couple of gaps, of course, Alabama is going to make you pay. Brian Robinson Jr., they're getting the carry. They are going to make you pay. Again, nice play design. You have to be careful to be gap sound. We can see we have 2 linebackers here. We do not have enough right here. We're bringing in edge pressure to help in case they want to try to take us outside. Bama then counters with an inside run. So they will run inside. They will run outside. You have to defend all areas of the field against Alabama. However, their offensive line, as you can see here, not nearly as effective in previous years thus far, especially the right side of their line at containing pressure. 1st and 10 for Alabama here. This is something I love that Miami did. If they felt like Bama was going to run, they would take a gamble and they would have their linebacker here, their stand-up technique, just basically come in and engage aggressively what they knew was going to be the pull block. Here's your left guard. He's going to come create a pull, and rather than sit and wait and read the edge here on this zone read, he's just going to come blow this up and allow the linebacker to be the one to make the tackle. Take a look. Get in there and blow that up. That frees up the space now for the linebacker to come make a tackle, and then they pursuit and follow for a loss. Really nice play. Again, I'd like to see Florida do this. At times against a superior team, you have to gamble like this. This is a nice first down stop by Miami. And as I mentioned before, you're seeing a lot of pressure. You're seeing a lot of orange and white uniforms getting into the backfield, which is a good sign for Florida, who I think has a decided advantage right now based upon film with Florida's defensive line versus Alabama's offensive line. I think that's going to be the storyline of the game when it comes to Florida's defense versus Alabama's offense, again, solely based on film. 1st and 10, Bama again is going to go for a home run play, and they're actually going to have it. They're going to get a little stutter go here. Unfortunately for them, they're not going to be able to block the pressure of Miami. And I like this. We're going to get an aggressive edge play, hold the edge, and then the ball is going to be faked. There it is. He's going to stay on Bryce. Bryce, again, he's elusive. He's going to get away. He does. Second help gets there, and he does a phenomenal job to just barely get rid of this ball to Cameron Latu, number 81, their tight end, as opposed to taking a 10 or 12-yard sack. It's an incomplete pass. Again, Bryce, his pocket presence as far as escapability is very nice. He's not going to keep his eyes downfield all the time. He's not going to necessarily hit a hot route or a smoke route quite yet, but he does get away, and he saves yards with his escapability as he does there. But I like the pressure, one more time, from Miami. Very aggressive on first down. They're coming in hard for the run, and they're counting on the fact that they can beat Alabama's offensive line in case they try to go play action, which they did, and they get the win. If Bama holds up here, there is no doubt this is an easy touchdown. So again, so much of this Florida versus Alabama game is going to be contingent upon Florida's D-line versus Alabama's O-line. And for once in quite some time, you can say that Florida probably has an advantage in that department. Now, 2nd and 10, Miami's pressure has been getting to Bryce Young. I want you to watch, just focus on him. Don't even worry about what's happening. Just watch Bryce here as he drops back. Take a look. He's going to finish this throw leaning backwards. See that right there? He's leaning backwards. Miami once again getting pressure. They drop off their linebacker and they bring their middle linebacker. He's going to take his check down to Brian Robinson quite quickly. Here it is. Not really time to make a look. He does have an open receiver here. He's not going to stand in the pocket and hit that. Instead, he's going to just take this quick safe throw. He's feeling the pressure. On film, when I've watched him through 2 games, when he feels the pressure, he tends to go to a read, a singular read. He hasn't quite got to the point yet. And again, that's very elevated to deal with pressure and be able to throw to the exact right spot. Miami's counting on this with his play. Ball gets out of his hands quickly. They're going to get a nice rally down here from the corner and a nice tackle. A nice play again on 2nd down. They are forcing Miami's hand at this. Miami's forcing Bama's hand at this point in time and getting some predictable play results, which is absolutely what you want to do against Alabama. Narrow the options of what you think they can do. You can't be passive against them. You can't let them dictate. You have to dictate and try to play your defense behind it, which again did not work for Miami. They obviously struggled to cover in the secondary. Bama hit them with big plays, but a lot of their scheme and their tactics actually were quite sound, again, especially with the front 7. This is definitely how you just do not want to defend Alabama. This is one of my fears, having seen Florida and Grantham's defenses on film for quite some time now. That's going to happen to Florida, and it's going to happen to Miami here. We talked about this quite exhaustively on the podcast. Bama has 2 receivers. They have one down here, and Miami has a corner off your screen and then a safety that you can see here. So we're 3 on 2. So technically we're fine. We're 3 on 2 for this play, except this is the conflict defender, and he's going to have to play the run of the pass. Watch what happens here. Simple play action. He's sucked in too far. We talked on the podcast how a lot of times Florida's linebackers will just start inside here, and they don't even have the width to get out here. Now here's a nice RPO. We talked about RPOs earlier. There's your run pass option. He sees this linebacker has no angle. He makes a super easy throw here, and on 1st and 10, he's going to gain 16 yards. These are the kind of east-west quick, easy money plays Bama is so good at. Florida cannot allow them to complete these passes. Once you start allowing them to do this, really, there's not a lot you can defend anymore. They want to make sure that you're playing honest. And if you're playing honest, right, the right way to play this is to make sure that his distance is a little further out here. However, if you do that and you're going to play with two safeties, which they have here too high, then you're going to be weak against the run. You're going to be weak in here. You have to choose something to be weak in. But if you're Florida, I think you need to trust your defensive line, especially early, and see how they do against Alabama up here, allowing your pass defenders to attempt to play more pass than run, trying to stop these sort of extended handoffs, if you will, that Bama really feeds on. It's the very next play, and we're going to see something else we talked a lot about on the podcast, another east-west play. Bama's going to line up in a stack formation. They do this frequently, and they're going to simply run just a little bubble screen. Now, why does this work so well? We're going to get a one-on-one block here. We have two high safeties. We're far off the ball, and again, this is your conflict defender. See how far inside he is? Look at his distance here. That's not where you want to be. You want him to be here. That way his distance is able to cover this and make a tackle. There's no chance he can get to the screen. Bama knows it. They're going to run the play action. They're going to bring him in, which is what happens, and throw a very simple extended handoff play. Get the block there. Let your athlete get the ball in space. There's Jamison Williams, and he's going to pick up 9 easy yards. Again, this is my biggest fear for Florida on Saturday. They have a tendency to play defense just like that. If they do that, Alabama will make them pay all game long. It's 2nd and 1, and you're going to see Miami go cover 0. Now, I am a fan of cover 0, especially if you have superior athletes, but I'm not a fan of cover 0 when you're going to run it this way. And a lot of running something right is running it right. So first of all, if you're going to run cover 0, and Bama knows it, let's just make sure everyone is on the line of scrimmage here. Let's just make sure everyone's here, and we're coming. Hey, you know we're coming. And let's not have this matchup occur right here. If you don't think that you can cover this in your cover 0, as you're going to see, that's not going to get it done. And if you're not going to cover him at all, that's also not going to get it done. So again, cover 0 can be a fine call, but you got to execute. This is a terrible way to do it, in my opinion. Every single receiver is wide open. You have Mechie open here. Mechie open. You have the tight end who he chooses to hit open. You have an unguarded wide receiver over here who's even more open. But this is just too easy. Again, it's 2nd down and 1. Not a great down there to die on the hill anyway. But most importantly, if you're going to execute it, you're going to want to see hands-on, hands-on, hands-on. I want to see down here hands-on, and same thing off the bottom of the screen. But Bama executes this easily. Easy throw from Bryce, picks his first read out, and scores a touchdown. Of course, if you wanted to give him an A++, he would have hit the wide open guy. But regardless, from Miami, lots of aggression. That's not well executed. 3rd and 6, Miami down 17-0. Although they've had some nice plays on defense, which you've seen, they've had some not so nice plays on defense. This one is probably one of my favorite ones all game long. Again, 3rd down and 6, Bryce Young not reading the field really well. I'd get to see him on film really make a bunch of quality reads. Again, that's not dogging him. As he gets more and more experienced, everything I've seen so far leads me to believe that he will, of course, get to that point. Right now, he's just getting his sea legs. But on this 3rd and 6, you're going to see Mechie is going to be wide open. In fact, you can see a lot of Bama receivers look like they're going to be pretty open here. They've got a good play call on against Miami secondary, which they had all day. But Bryce feels the pressure, and he's just thinking, I'm coming here. And the reason he thinks this is Miami has set him up oh so nicely. Here is going to be your nickel, and he looks like he's coming. Here's your linebacker. Okay, so Bryce sees, all right, the nickel's coming. Well, the linebacker's too far inside. He's also coming. I have this wheel route here that's really easy, and then I've got a vertical here that's going to hold my corner. This should be simple. I've got double pressure. I'm good, except Miami sets this up nicely, right? Take a look here. This is just a really nice play. Their linebacker is going to come right behind the nickel and then shoot out into the flat, always taking that away. It's a bait play. Makes the tackle. Really nice stop on 3rd down and 6. Again, this is stuff that you can do against Alabama. You can game plan Bryce Young because he's still throwing a lot to his first tendencies, that if you can get pressure, you can have a pretty good idea of where he might go. If you were going against Mac Jones last year, Mac Jones is going to take a look first at the middle of the field because it's being vacated, and he's going to take Mechie on this crosser before he throws an outlet to a running back. But that's not what Bryce elects to do. And because of that, rather than having Mechie right here with tons of space to run, he actually does not convert this third down, and Bama has to settle for a field goal. So again, that's the difference between Bryce Young, probably game 1, 2, or 3, and perhaps where he will be by the end of the season. It's definitely a reason why Florida should be more happy they're playing Alabama now rather than later, as obviously Bama's offense is only going to get better as the season goes on. And right now they are, again, as you can see, a little bit more limited, despite the fact they've been productive, than they've been in years past. For those of you that have followed this channel for quite some time, you'll know that I'm a huge fan of playing press man coverage. You'll see Miami employ this tactic here on the bottom of the screen. You can't see it. Cover 1 here, single high safety against Alabama. It's 3rd and 11. Now, press man, especially in cover 1, works best if you're the more athletic team, or if you're equally athletic, or if you like all of your matchups. It also works if your defensive line can get pressure, or if the quarterback is a bit inexperienced and is going to look at the matchup he likes and not make perhaps an excellent throw against man, which so far, although Bryce Young has plenty of talent, he hasn't looked super comfortable if pressure is getting to him and he has to deliver a quality throw. Now, you can count on Alabama to run even better man routes now that we're in week 3 of the season and not week 1. But right here, Miami's going to catch them nicely. Pressure off the edge. They're going to get home just right there at the end. Bryce has the throw that he wants, except it's nowhere close. He's trying to this tight end right here. Nowhere close. Now, if you're Florida and you're playing defense, I think you look at this and say, this is how you want to lose to Alabama. If Bryce Young goes out and completes 10 or 13 or 14 passes on 3rd down against press man defense in a tight windows, you'll live with that. You don't want to let them have easy zone windows to complete passes. They excel at that. Try to make this difficult. Lean into the fact they don't have full execution yet, and be willing to mix in some press man and then play some defense, trusting your own athletes against Alabama's. We opened the film breakdown with a move that Alabama missed, of course. They had run that stem corner, and now they're going to wind up hitting pay dirt. I'll let you watch it out first, and then we'll walk through it. Real time on TV, you just sort of see a guy wide open, and there is Jamison, and he is fast, and you're not going to catch him. But what's really happening is they're going to make use again of the stem corner route. Here it comes, stem into the middle, hit this corner route. There will be no play action on this one, so the safety's got to stay on top. But a couple of ways that Florida can fix this situation is, here's a bunch set. We've talked a lot about this. Get the jam here. Throw off that timing. Get the jam there. You're not going to see any jam, so instead he's immediately going to be an underneath trail. He's going to be underneath, and now he's counting on his safety to be over the top. Counting on that safety to be over the top. He's not going to wind up being over the top. You can see he's here. The reason he's way over here is that stem corner looks like this. He gives a little head nod. Safety then went this way. Receiver goes this way. Trail defender is behind. Ideally, the safety should be over the top here, and you should have a 2-on-1, and that would be good. Unfortunately, that did not happen. So it's going to be a challenge for Rashad Torrance out there all day long, making sure he stays on top, making sure he doesn't fall for a double move. And what's difficult with Alabama is he just as easy could get right here, give a little head nod this way and come this way, or he could just run it this way. He's very, very fast, and that is why disrupting on the line of scrimmage right here, if you can get up here and press this, again, this is not the line of scrimmage, but imagine it is, and put a little bit of a jam here, you can slow that down enough that by the time he gets to this all-important decision point, it's possible that Florida's pressure has gotten to the quarterback. You don't want to let Alabama have enough time to hit these vertical routes. And again, they will try them even when they're on their own goal line in their own end zone. So their ability to attack verticality is a weapon. We had mentioned on the podcast that Mercer actually did an excellent job against Alabama. They stayed either 2 deep or even 3 deep. We talked about them playing a 3 high. We'll talk about that towards the end of this video. A 3 high, a defense that's favored by Iowa State and Matt Campbell, as well as a lot of Big 12 programs. We featured it with Arkansas last year in a film breakdown. And Mercer did a nice job not only when they were in their 3 high, but actually also just attacking the ball. Here's 1st and 10. They expect run. They're going to have both of their safeties coming in to help. Really, the entire team here is locked in on run. And one thing about Bama this year so far, when you're scouting them on offense, is that their offensive line, again, has been suspect, even against Mercer, as you'll see in this video. 2nd and 7. I love this play from Mercer. I'm going to roll it for you, and then I'm going to show you what happens. Here's the play. Just looks like a simple screen. We saw the same exact play against Miami, but it went for 10 yards. Here it's only going to go for a few. Why does that happen? Well, it all starts with good linebacker play, something that's plagued Florida here in the Grantham era. You're going to see the play fake. Let's stop it right here. Play fake. He's coming forward, but he's not coming inside, and that's key. He's also not starting too far inside, and that's key. Now here comes the block, which is not going to matter. Take a look. He stops his feet. He sees the screen. This block now doesn't matter because he's not inside here, and he's now going to flow here to the play side. Here he comes up the sideline. Perfect engagement here by Mercer to the outside, allowing the underneath linebacker to have the clear alley with the safety over top. This is perfect execution by Mercer. Great tackle, great stop. That's high-level defense, and it all starts with good alignment, good footwork, good reaction, quality angle, and that's how you make a nice stop. If Florida is able to do something they have never done under Grantham, which is play sound alignment football, they have a chance to stop a lot of what Alabama wants to do. Of course, again, that is the big question. Is Florida capable of playing sound alignment football? It's the first drive of the game. It's now 3rd down for Alabama at home, 3rd and 3. And this is an encouraging sign for all Florida fans. Right away, you're going to see that Mercer's playing this 3-high look. This is a 3-high look. There are 3 safeties. You're going to have 3 down linemen, and you're going to have some edge pressure, right? Now, let's not get too lost in the weeds with that, but just know that this messed up Bryce Young all day long. It actually messes up a lot of quarterbacks. It's a tricky thing. It takes away a lot of your posts are gone. A lot of routes that you're used to throwing are not there. It just changes some of the dynamics, especially if you're attacking vertically. There are ways to attack that defense as well, of course, but on this play, here's the encouraging part. Mercer is just going to bring 5. Just going to bring 5. Little blitz here from a linebacker. Oops, sorry. They're just going to bring 5. Let's get back to where we are. And Alabama is going to have their 5 linemen plus a running back. So that's 6. Now he's just going to chip and release, but there's 6 actual potential blockers here. Mercer's still going to get home. Bryce Young is reading deep, and by the time he wants to throw this ball, he's going to get sacked. And take a look. This has been the weakness for Alabama, their right tackle, much like Florida's been struggling. That's a one-on-one win from Mercer's left defensive end, who's going to come in and then get a sack. Take a look one more time. He's going to work one-on-one right off the line. Nothing tricky. Beats his man, gets a sack. Now, Bryce Young also showing a little bit here of his just kind of inexperience is he's going to have his chip right here. He's going to have this halfback as his check down. It's easy check down right now. Right foot's in the ground. Get the ball to your check down. You can't see it, but on the all-22, every single one of his routes downfield, there was a defender on top of the route. There's nothing there. Right now, when your back foot hits the ground, you know that. You've confirmed there's nothing you like. Go to your check down when you feel the pressure. This would have been an easy first down. He doesn't do it. Bryce Young's not going to do it on Saturday. He's not going to be a perfect quarterback. He's not there yet. Plenty of tools, all the skills, just not there yet. He prefers to really escape the pocket, run and reset, which is what he wants to do there. And instead, he takes a sack. So obviously, Florida's defensive line, as we've talked about, versus Alabama in this game, is going to be the matchup to watch. Can they get pressure long enough to cover up an open receiver? In which case, perhaps Bryce won't see them. 1st and 10 and some great stuff here from Mercer. You're now going to get a stem corner post route that's going to be perfectly covered by your middle safety here in Mercer. Take a look. Watch top of your screen. There's the inside release. Going to turn the head. Take a look. Turn the head here. Looks like he's going to run a corner. And then right after he goes off the screen, he's going to snap that to the post. Nice work here by Mercer. They're going to send their linebacker into this throw window. That's going to force Bryce to step this way. So it moves him off the spot. Way to get him off the spot. He has to regather. Now he's about to get hit. Again, good pressure. A lot of Mercer players in the backfield. An encouraging sign again for Florida. And this is just fantastic. It's not very often that you will see anybody this close on a 40-yard vertical route for Alabama. And that's perfect defense. And he was on top of this route the entire way. There was no place to go with this throw. This is just Bryce thinking it's going to be there because he has Jamison, who generally outruns everyone. But that's phenomenal defense. The reason the safety is in that position is, although you can't see him on your screen, he does not fall for this corner route. And the reason he doesn't have to fall for the corner route is because they play so much of a 3 safety look. He knows that this corner is dropping back. Now, you could say it's a cover 3. It's very much like a cover 3. The underneath responsibilities become a little different. But for now, just know that he's thinking his only job is to cover this part of the field. So he's watching that corner. They're going to give up this hitch route here, and they're going to make sure they stay on top of these deep routes. Now, that is, in fact, the right route to go to. At the top of your screen, right here, this is wide open. Bryce is not going to look at it. He never has the deep route. He already knows he doesn't have the deep route, but the pressure's there. He doesn't have time to look anywhere else, and he just forces one downfield. And you can see how open that is. Take a look here where this defender is. He was about here on the throw. Nice work, though, by Mercer recognizing, hey, if we can get pressure, we think he's going to make one read and then lock onto it. And they were, in fact, correct. It's now 1st and 10. And it's the second drive for Alabama, something we saw Miami do. Mercer is going to do here. Mercer is going to wind up crashing down and immediately engaging this block. We saw Miami do that. He's going to engage that aggressively to allow his linebacker to be the one to make the play, except he's going to engage it. He's going to stay on the outside, which then allows him to actually make this tackle. Again, this is Alabama versus Mercer, and you're going to get a one-on-one win, right here. Take a look right here, one-on-one win, beat the oncoming tight end, stay to the outside, and make a tackle. You're not used to seeing this from Alabama. Nick Saban was very frustrated after this game, had a lot of not nice things to say about his team's performance, and the film tells the same story. Now 2nd and 10, and Bama's had enough of whatever Mercer's giving them, so they are going to now run a really difficult post and then late snap to a corner route about 20 yards down the field. Get engaged with the safety. Once you're engaged with him, hit it. It's a long developing play. You can see the play action. They're going to set the target spot right here. Mercer, again, is going to bring a nice pressure that makes Bryce move off of his spot. He slides perfectly, puts this ball right where it needs to be, and Jamison drops it. Why? Because he turns around thinking, I'm going to score a touchdown, which he was, and he drops it. Again, why is this play so open? Well, one, the safety is still on top. You can see that he's still at least closer to the touchdown than Jamison is. But the reason he's way over here is he was running with that corner route, which really was a post route rather, but he was running to the corner thinking the ball is going to be thrown over here, and 20 yards down the field, which is way late, Jamison snapped this off like this. So then he had to turn around. He's now lost any ability to make a play on the ball, making it a nice, easy throw. Really nice route. It's a long developing play. Again, Bama's the best in college football at doing this, and they simply give Mercer a gift here. But Florida will need to be on their A game to stop these vertical routes on Saturday. 3rd and 10, Florida will need to watch for Bama doing this right here, and that is a hard count to get them to jump off sides. There's your hard count. He jumps off sides. Again, take a look down here. This part of your screen, hard count, jump off sides. Bama touches them. They gain 5 yards. They do that frequently, and they do it in high leverage and important situations. Florida hopefully will have spent this week practicing against that. They will see it on Saturday. 2nd and 19. It's still nothing. It's second try for Bama. They've had a holding call. You're going to watch excellent screen defense here. Again, the East-West game of Alabama is so important. It's so crucial to their offense. They make you have to come up and play against it, in which case they can go over the top, and they are throwing it to their fastest and most dangerous receiver right here. And let's look at how Mercer plays this. First, you'll see how it plays out. Excellent job. And now we're going to show you why it played out that way. All right, first of all, it's always going to start with where is your linebacker? Is he in the right position? And where does he go with the fake? There's your play fake. Notice him. He didn't drift this way. He stayed actually a little to the outside because he knows that he has to have inside help in the event of a pass to the short side. This is good. We often see Florida's linebackers go this way and then come this way, and I don't care how athletic you are, you're not going to make it. So check mark here. Secondarily, we get an outside engage of this blocker, and we also get it on the line of scrimmage. I've talked a lot about a bunch set, and this is a bunch set engaging the top of the bunch, which you're going to see it happen right here. Go engage it. Even though he gets pushed way back, it doesn't matter. Engage that there. If you're really athletic, hold the line there. But by him doing this, he frees up a lane here for the corner to come. He frees up the inside for the linebacker to attack. And then because they're playing too high, and in fact, this case 3 high again, you have 2 safeties coming down to fill these gaps. And now you have a 5 3-on-3. So you've taken what looked like a pre-snapped 3-on-3 or even 3-on-2, depending on what was going to happen from Mercer, and you turn it into a 5-on-3, then you come pursue and you make a tackle. That is nice stuff by Mercer, and that's football by alignment, something we talk about each and every week on the podcast. It's now 3rd and 15, and Mercer is going to show that they don't always have to play aggressively. In fact, they're just going to bring 3. They're just going to bring 3, and they are going to play 5. 1, 2, 3. You can't see them. 4, 5 defenders pretty much here at the first down marker, and they're going to make sure they stay, again, this is the buzzword for this video, on top of the routes, because they don't think that Bryce Young is going to make an intermediate throw into a window. He wants to hit a vertical throw. Encouraging news here is despite the 3-man rush and despite being Mercer, they do get some pressure. Not a ton, but they make him leave the pocket. He gets out. He does keep his eyes upfield nicely when he leaves the pocket. It is 3rd and 15. If you were to take his check down, there's 2 underneath defenders here. And take a look what we see on top. Check this out. Underneath defender, and then on top. That is absolutely perfect. There's no good place to go. And if he wants to fit it into this little window, we will live with that. He tries to do that. He overthrows it. It's not there. That is fantastic discipline by Mercer. Again, just take a look at this right now. Perfect. These defenders have the check down. That's how you play defense when you drop 8. Really, really good stuff. So that will do it for our Bama breakdown on offense. We will then flip over and take a look at their defense to kind of give you the cliff notes on Bama's offense. Offensive line's a question mark. They're going to be tested with Florida's defensive line. On film, it looks like Florida has an advantage there. Alabama certainly has playmakers at the wide receiver, tight end, and running back positions. But if Florida's able to hold up and get pressure, the secondary question is, can Bryce Young make enough reads to get the ball to the right player? I have no doubt that Bama receivers will find openings, but as you've seen on film, Bryce is not always finding them. Not a knock on him, just not enough game experience yet to get there. He will evade the pocket. He will get away from Florida's rush. They will need to stay disciplined to break down as opposed to just flying in like we saw against USF. They're going to have to make sure they keep him in a contained lane, make sure they hold the edge. And Florida can have success against Alabama's offense if they're able to play sound alignment football. If you see Alabama start to convert those east-west screens that we showed, if they're able to gain easy yards, first read throws, it's going to be a long day for Florida's defense. So a lot to watch for with Bama offense versus Florida's defense. Alabama is the most sound alignment football team in college football. They bring a variety of ways to attack you, but they always do it from a really good defensive alignment. You can see it right here, 2nd down and 10. It's the second play for Miami in this game. You've got trips receivers here, 3 receivers here. You have 4v3 here, and then look at the positioning of the nickel. And again, I've talked about this a lot. You rarely see Florida do this, but he's splitting the difference here between the quarterback and this inside receiver, which allows him to play both the run and the pass. And Nick Saban also likes to blitz the nickel. It's a nice idea to blitz the nickel. You can easily cover with your safety, which allows you to have a lot of variability on your back end. That's exactly what's going to happen here. He's going to come in. He can be a run stopper. He's going to stay on the outside edge, which he has to do. He has responsibility in case King keeps this ball and comes out here. He's going to do just that. There it is. And he stays with the running back and gets a nice stop. So again, football by alignment. Bama does it better than anyone. Nick Saban's preferred defense on 3rd down is man, and you're going to see that here. Man, they're single high. Man, here's a rat or a robber. Nick Saban likes to call him a rat. He's going to wind up playing the tendency. This is the first game of the year, so the tendency of what King was going to do and Miami was going to do is a little bit trickier than what you might get in game 10 or 11. But all in all, again, good, solid alignment here by Alabama, except Miami's going to wish that they were running this play. This is really a decoy the whole time. But if that play was run, they were in good shape because nobody is accounting for him. At any rate, he would have been accounting for him, but that would have been tough for him given what's going on here in the backfield. Either way, you see Nick Saban. This is the coaching cue. If the ball is handed off, you're going to go collapse. If it's not, you're going to take out King and the quarterback. The ball does get handed off. He comes in to help. And Bama's there for an easy stop on 3rd and 7. Again, they're not just going to give you free yards. You're going to have to earn them. It's 1st and 10. One of the things I love most about Nick Saban's defense is how simple the back end rotations are. It's a very complicated defense. There's all sorts of things they do that are not simple. Their defensive playbook is huge, but they handle motions in, I think, the best way, which is you're just going to see this action here, and you have too high. They're going to start too high almost every time. They're going to just rotate down the safety. He's going to just cover this motion guy. We're not going to chase anyone across the field on 1st and 10. We're going to stay in a zone. We're going to wind up just keeping this nice and easy. He's going to buzz through this zone, so he takes away any sort of slant by alignment, and then he can still come down here in the flat. And you're going to see the attack here off the edge, an aggressive attack off the edge. Hold the outside edge. This way, if King comes out, he's there. Force the handoff. Great pursuit. Linebacker's going to win right here, get into the hole, and make a stop. That's excellent defense on 1st down. 2nd down and 9, and this play is something Florida should look for. Miami's going to play with 4. Alabama has 2 and a safety. That's 4v3. Alabama is clearly signaling. Take a look. They're going to talk to each other. Take a look right here. They're talking. Yeah, no big deal. I'm not worried about it. I don't really care. They clearly don't care. They don't think Miami has the ability to throw the football. They think Miami wants to live in here running the ball, and they're going to take that away. Again, Nick Saban and Bill Belichick, they are big fans of take away what the offense wants to do most. And I don't care that you put 4 out here. We are not going to buy it. Take a look at what happens. Miami is, in fact, just going to run his own read. He's going to stay disappointed, stay on the edge, coming in nice and easy. And then they're going to get a huge one-on-one win from the defensive tackle to the right guard. And that's going to wind up being an easy stop on 2nd down and 9. Now, you've seen on previous breakdowns, if you watched the channel last year, football's a numbers game. If they give you 4 on 3, you must take 4 on 3. If your team is not good enough to complete passes 4 on 3 on the edge, you are going to lose the football game. This is a nonsensical play call by Miami. You see it in college all the time. This would never happen in the NFL, at least not with a solid team, as they would immediately attack something like this. But Alabama says, I think you're limited. I don't think you want to throw that. I'm not buying it. That's nice game theory by Alabama, and we will see this play develop throughout this film breakdown to see what Miami does in the future. 3rd down and 8. Miami goes 5 wide. They go empty. So Bama is now either going to bring pressure here with a linebacker or use him, like we mentioned, as that rat. And you'd expect them to play man. You're going to see them playing levels, single high with levels. Levels allow these defenders to be able to run in a clear path and defend whatever happens with these routes. So they are able not to run into each other. If they were all on the same level against a bunch set like this, the odds are pretty good they would get stuck in a pick play of sorts. Again, here I like, and so does Nick Saban, by the way, pressuring and hitting the top receiver here. They're not going to elect to do it here because instead they're going to go outside alignment, and they're going to try to take away the outside release, or if he runs it, they're going to make sure it's very squeezed, and they're going to force this to the middle. Why to the middle? Because the safety is here to help. Let's watch the release on the near side of the screen. There it is. He does, in fact, go outside. That is not a throw that King wants to make at all. They'll take that. And then you're going to have an inside release here that he stays on top of. And now the beauty of this is, take a look at number 5. He is manned up on him the whole way. And as soon as he sees him break to the inside, his job is to stay on top of this and make a tackle. There it is, makes the tackle. Defense is not always about forcing a completion. It's about getting the other team off the field. And that forces now a 4th and 2. They're going to punt there. That's really nice defense from Alabama. And one thing I should highlight, we've talked about this last year at length with them, this is the proper off-man technique. Again, you can watch Bama videos from last year to get a really in-depth look on how to do it. He's not backing up. That's really, really important. If you watch Florida do this, and we've seen this against USF, we've seen it already against FAU, we're just going to back up here, and that is ridiculous. You need to stay just like this, flat-footed, so if he runs a slant here, an out route, a hitch, a bubble, you're able to come down and make a tackle. You don't open up until he opens up past you a little bit more. And take a look, right at the point where he'd have to open up his hips to go back some, he makes the out route and he's all over it. Perfect technique, something you almost never see from Florida's defense, which is most unfortunate. And that's how you can play off man and be successful. The purpose of playing off man is so you can deny any 5-yard route by coming downhill on it. That's not going to work if you're backpedaling prematurely. So Bama across the board there with an excellent set of defensive downs and another stop. Miami's going to bring a motion across the formation here. And this is going to be an example of a play that Alabama does not get correct. Again, Alabama's defense is beatable. Any defense is going to make mistakes. This motion is going to cause them to make a mistake. This motion here is going to cause the safety to come over. It should also cause the corner to bail out. That's most likely the case. Nick Saban typically would have that be the case here. I'm going to assume that. I can't know this for sure, but taking a look at what goes on here, somebody's wrong. My bet is that it's going to be the corner. He is going to stick on this route. This safety here is looking for anything coming on the inside, counting on him to have bailed back, and they're supposed to play 3-on-2 in that regard. Because he runs off, he's going to leave this wheel route wide open. It is, in fact, wide open, but King is not going to see it. What else we can look for here is number 4, Christopher Allen, or number 31, as we're going to see, Will Anderson Jr., either one of them. They're fantastic edge rushers. Bama likes to put their premier edge rushers on the left side of the defense in college to attack a weaker right tackle, which is also a smart tactic and strategy. He's going to blow right on by the right tackle. Again, imagine this being Delance in the game. He's going to wind up pushing him off the mark right there. Then King is still not looking up the field. He has him easily because he really wants to run. He's a runner. And he will run, and he will get this. So, of course, this is a good comparison to Emory. Similar scenario. King's not reading the field well. Doesn't really recognize they blow it on the motion. Doesn't like his initial throw. Escapes the pocket and runs. So there are opportunities to gain yards, of course, against Bama's defense. They will make mistakes. You can count on Dan Mullen to craft up some good stuff, even if it's Emory all game long with his deficiencies, to be able to at least steal some plays from Alabama. Now, will that be enough? I don't think so. I think that's why a guy like Anthony Richardson, if he's healthy, should really get every snap, as the ceiling is much higher. But Bama's defense is gonna give you few of these kind of plays. And even here, it's 10 yards and a first down. They live to fight for another series. It's not a touchdown. All right, here's our 4 receiver set again. Bama says, yeah, I still don't really care, but let's take a look at, one more time. He's like, okay, wow, they're doing it again. There's, 3v2, they don't really respect us. What should I do? Well, this is football by alignment. Take a look at the linebacker, or in this case, the nickel. Take a look at where he is. This is the tackle. See how he's outside the tackle? Look at this triangle. I love these triangles. I'm going to draw a bunch of them. He can guard the run or the pass. Take a look. There we go. Now, this is a stupid play by Miami. I mean, this play is so, in my mind, dumb. They're going to drop 2 guys back here. Just drop back 1. They're going to drop 2 back here. That's going to hold both Bama defenders. Perfect position. They're absolutely in perfect position. He, by alignment, is going to take away a quick out. He's going to take away a quick slant. He's going to sit in this dig window or slant window. And then you've got 2 guys over top. So that's perfect by Bama. And then this throw's not there. And on top of that, he's got a 1-option throw. It's not going to be there. And also, he's in a lot of trouble. Why? Well, because you have number 4, Christopher Allen, coming around the edge and absolutely smoking their right tackle for an easy sack. You also have pressure on the left side. Not so good. This will be a huge test for Florida's offensive line, which has looked good. And pass protect, minus, of course, Delance. So we will see what happens. Now, it should be noted on this play, although this play is silly, they could have run this in a million different ways. The reason they're running it is they really wanted to have one read for King. You can imagine this being Emory, and they wanted to run a decoy route here to get this guy out of the play, and they figured if they kept both of these guys down here, they would both stay low, which they did. So obviously this is sort of elementary football. You're going to run a 1 home run play shot and hope it works. It does actually work. So I'll give it credit in this regard, even though it's very, very simple and you only have 1 bullet in your gun. It does work. Here's your stutter. Take a look here. There's your stutter go, and he is beat. Now he's off your screen, unfortunately for you, but right here when he makes this stutter, the Bama defender basically lunges this way, and he is gone. So that play would have been a touchdown, and that's what King is looking for. But if you cannot hold up and pass protect, just like we saw with Bama, it doesn't matter. And that's why football is such a great game. It takes all 11 guys on the same page at the same time executing to make this play work. Miami wins everywhere it needs to win, but right here. And that caused it to be a loss and a sack. Otherwise, that's a touchdown, and it's 17-7. So every single player matters. Stats don't look so good for Miami at this point in time. They have 10 plays, 38 yards, 2 first downs. And here's another textbook, beautiful defensive play from Alabama. It is 1st and 10. Bama's going to play aggressive press man up top here, as they will often do on the weak side, help defender here in case they're going to run anything interiorly, release the running back, etc. And then my favorite, take a look at the bunch set. There it is. And take a look at this. We're going to wind up crushing that right away. Get in there. Hold the line, like we said. If you're strong, hold the line. If you're even stronger, break through the line. And then make sure you break through in a way that you are able to get outside help and inside help, which is what's happening. And then make a hero play by yourself, because you're an absolute beast. Yeah, that's where celebrating one more time. Beast mode. Take a look from the start. Watch again from the start. If you're watching on TV and you're watching this play before it happens and you see a bunch set and it's first down, you're going to say, hey, please be aggressive with the top of the bunch. You're going to watch him defend the outside. The linebacker's got to flow this way. All this has to work correctly. It does indeed. And we're in good shape. Now, the reason Miami's not faking this is they're purposely leaving. Take a look here. They are purposely leaving, in this case, Will Anderson unblocked to sell the run this way so they can try to get this linebacker out of there. But Bama's smart. They're taught well. He takes one little drift step and immediately is shot out of there like a cannon. And he would have been there to make the play as well. Excellent technique. Great defense. They get the stop. All right, well, we saw earlier that 4 guys had a shot on a deep ball, and they're still 4v3. So, maybe we should just throw the screen pass. This seems like a good time to throw it. I like this. Let's just send one guy back there because we're good. And let's stop the film right here. Bama still saying, we really don't respect your passing game at all. We don't think you're going to run, and you could run a wide variety of routes in here to really challenge this kind of defense. There is no high safety. You could do a lot of stuff to mess with them. But they trust they're going to get pressure in time, and they don't trust that King's going to be able to make those passes, much like they would in Emory Jones. And they think things are going to be simple, which they are, in fact, correct. So once again, take a look at the alignment here. Take a look, whether it's a linebacker or a nickel. Doesn't matter who it is. That's the perfect alignment. So it is 3. This is the conflict defender. He's got to play run and pass. He's splitting the difference, which is correct. And as soon as this little simple ball comes out, middle defender, imagine the top of a bunch, right? The middle defender here in this defense, he's going to fly down and engage this block and push this back as far as he can, which he does. He's going to do that to the outside angle. Why the outside? So he can push this into his inside help defender. Here is the unblocked man, the linebacker. And then everyone's going to run their lane. Lane, lane, lane. That's how you get team pursuit to the ball. There it is. Fantastic defense. Everyone does their job. Little screenplay goes for nothing. It's 3rd and 10. Bama, as we mentioned, typically likes to play man defense here, but they can play zone. And this is a nice play design by Bama. You've got 4 receivers and 1 running back from Miami. Bama is going to counter with a 3-high look. Here's your nickel. Of course, he can apply pressure and blitz, what they like to do. That's a nice tactic, because if you apply pressure here from the inside, then you can do a whole bunch of stuff. You can have him come down, roll him over. You can have him come down, roll him back. I mean, you can really do anything you want here on the backside. But what I want you to watch is first, we're going to have a nickel blitz to apply pressure. We're going to drop both of these guys back. He's going to fall back to take away the uncovered number 2 on that side. And then he is going to have his eyes over here seeing what happens with the routes. He's not looking at the quarterback. His job is to check out what routes are coming into his zone and cover them. He's coming down in here to stop any route there. And then we have 2 high with the safeties flowing away deep. Here comes the pressure. Again, pressure. Let's not mess that up. Here we go. Back to what I want. Pressure right there. Coming from Will Anderson, who is a menace and a problem. Again, he is injured. He may or may not play against Florida. He gets some face mask there, doesn't get called for it. King then just decides to get out of there with a rush. But really nothing is here. Now, again, this is nice defense. Open up here, take him out, keep your eyes here, keep your eyes here, stay to the outside, bracket all of this stuff, which they do. The pressure gets there. They rally and make a tackle and get another stop. Now, 2nd and 14, Bama going to line up in almost a tight front. Tight, we've talked about this before. I'm not going to get into it right now because this really is not a tight front depending on how they're playing the alignment. But he is lined up head up right there on the center. 3 down linemen. I'm showing you this to say they're only going to rush 3 on this 2nd down and 14. A pretty conservative call from Bama. They're going to drop 8. And they're still going to win right here where it matters. Miami's running a pretty nonsensical pass off here. Your right tackle is going to pass it off to your left guard. The bottom of your screen, right tackle, left guard, and it doesn't matter because they're both going to get beat by Will Anderson Jr., who is an absolute menace. And again, for Florida, the weak spot of this line's the right side. Bama wisely loads up their best rushers there. That's going to be a key to the game for Florida, is can the right side of the offensive line hold up and pass protect? It was not holding up for Miami. All right, last play we'll show you. It's 3rd and 18, and then we'll put this film study to bed. Alabama is so good. So good. This, by the way, is the tight front, just like we talked about. There you go. That's it right there. But Bama is so good at communicating. And this is something that makes their defense good. Take a look. The motion comes across. I want you to take a look right here. Motion comes across. Everyone is talking to each other. See all these guys? They're all talking. Hand signals, unification, pass off. Make sure that this safety knows he's got to come down. He's got to roll high. Everyone knows what the responsibility is. He's going to fill in here. All those things must be right. Bama does it better than anyone else does. In fact, I would challenge you to find this occurring on Florida's film at almost any time, where you see the majority of the players all signaling the same thing at the same time. Good luck with that task. So, motion comes across. It's a snap. We basically have an empty set. Again, they're only going to bring 3. Pressure comes through because they're screening. He's just going to let him go so he can come out here and get a block. And it's 3rd and 18. And of course, this is rather hopeless for Miami, but screen can be a good call here. It's especially hopeless against Bama because they do everything right. So right away, his eyes are in the backfield. He's looking still in the backfield. You can't see his face, but he's still looking in the backfield. He now knows it's a screen. His job is to engage, again, the outside here to allow the linebacker to come inside, safety to come up, corner to come up, and basically create gap control. Here it comes. You'll see him on the outside. He now beats his man. You've got a corner coming in here. Here's your free safety coming in here. And there is your linebacker with your pursuit from the defensive line. This is textbook defense. Gap, waiting here, pursuit, next gap. Everybody's lining up. Take a look. It's 3rd and 18. Rally to the ball. And all you see are Bama players. That is how you play defense. Florida is going to face a very coordinated, very clean Alabama defense. Their question mark is in their secondary. They've been untested through 2 games thus far. Florida, in theory, is not the team to test them out, especially with Emory Jones. But Florida will provide a much stiffer test offensively, even despite the current limitations and unknowns with what they're doing. Either way, we're going to find out if Bama's secondary is beatable, if Florida has what it takes to be able to buy enough time to challenge them. But right now, that's really the question mark. I think if you look at their front 7, you look at how they play against the run, they are excellent. Should be a very interesting game for both teams. Again, both teams have so many unknowns. A lot of starters from last year, not here for this year. A great early season game. I really am looking forward to watching it and also breaking down the film for you next week, which is when I will see you again. As always, if you like the content, subscribe to this channel. Check us out on social media and drop me a line. Let me know if there's things you want to see or not see. I use your feedback to make this even better. Until next time, I'm James from the Gator Nation Football Podcast.